Today I've got multiple things going on that I need to work on. One, I'm working on the laptop that has a storage problem, so I'm doing that. But I also found this carburetor up on the shelf, and I think I'm gonna put it in my ultrasonic to clean it before I tear it apart, see if it's any good. I've also got this over here. This is a little engine, and I'm working on making a boiler for this. I got to go to the lathe, and I got to cut me some pieces. One to screw in the pressure release, and the other thing is I need a place to make a line to come down to here, and possibly some kind of a valve. And then I also got to put a filler in over here. I got that, and then I also got the parts for the Maytag, the new connecting rod, and some rings. So I don't know where I'm going to go with this video. I'm going to start out though with this carburetor, carburetor. I'm going to remove the electronics from it because you don't want to put them in the water, but the rest of that all could go in the water. So let's see what I can find and get this thing apart and see what happens. And one of the reasons I'm going to go to the ultrasonic is because when I was a kid, and my dad was racing cars, I would go out into the garage. I don't know how old I was at that time, but sometimes he would have me out there scrubbing a carburetor in gasoline in a tub, and scrub it with a brush. And probably not the best thing to be doing, but I did it. So I'm going to see if the ultrasonic would work, because now I have an ultrasonic. Be interesting to see what happens. I got to find a socket to get down in here and get these off. Looks like that is 3/8 be the next one up from 3/8. This is a Holley. This has a number on the side of it here. It's a list number of 6619-1. I believe that's a 600 CCM. CFM, I'm sorry. Got to get these tabs loose before I can move that. Sure, there's people out there that have tore these apart many times, and they wouldn't be going through all the trouble I'm going through, because I don't normally work on cars except for my own stuff. Okay, that's going to need a socket. Next thing will be, will this fit in my tank? I think it will. Get rid of that. And we got this here choke solenoid over here. I think I can take that apart without taking too much apart. I have to. I'll take the cover off and remove the electronic parts of it, but I'm thinking I can get this loose. And I can pull all this off. I'm going to have to get that out of the way too. Get the hoses off of it. This is the choke. Get the ground wire. This carburetor, I think, I don't know how long I've had it. Somebody gave me this, actually. I think that should pop off there. It's the choke. Put a little clip on it. Let me get a pair of needle nose pliers. There it goes. And it was coming. It was this lever right here. Had to get that release from that over there. It's got a little hole in it for this little hairpin clip. That's for the choke levers. All right, so all the electronics is gone. This is the ground wires. That's not too important. Let's take these hoses off here too. Instead of putting that in there. Maybe I can get with this. Yeah, gonna need bigger pliers. This probably won't open far enough. Oop. The pliers of choice won't open up far enough. All right, there you can see how dirty it is. The throttle plates are dirty. The outside is filthy. And then down inside the throat, it's really black. So I'm going to put that in the ultrasonic, if it'll fit. I'm going to get my ultrasonic tape over here right now. And, we're going to try cleaning it in the tank. Get it focused on the tank. Alright, you can see it's in there. I might have to flip it around a couple times or something. I'm going to fill it up with water. This is going to be above. I'll get some hot water put in there so it don't have to take forever to heat up. And some soap. We're going to see what happens. I'm going to need an extension cord. I think I got one laying right there. Okay, you can see I've got most of the carburetor covered. I'm letting it heat up right now. I've already added my cleaner into it, and it's already cleaning. This was clear when I started. You can use Simple Green. I'm using Awesome. Anything that's is somewhat neutral. Don't get anything that's too caustic or too acidic. The next thing I got to do is I'm going to work while this is cooking and cleaning. I'm going to go work on this. I've got to drill 2 holes, 3/8 holes there, and one in one of the end caps. So I can make a couple ports. One of the ports has got to be, for the pressure release, is kind of be threaded with a metric 6 millimeter with a 1.25 thread, and the other one is just going to be a port. It's going to be a port that comes up with it, so I can put a piece of tubing in it, 1/8 inch tubing. And then this end I've got to have filler, so I'm going to be using a 1/4 inch screw. I couldn't find anything bigger. It'd be 3/8 would be nice, but I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. Anyway, so it's going to be 1/4 inch, and that'll be where you can fill this up. So it's going to be down about here, so that you got to have a gap up there to make steam. So that's what I'm going to do. And then once I get all those made, I'll silver solder those on, and that'll make me a tank. And then I got to come up with a way to connect the tubing to the motor. So I'm going to turn the ultrasonic on. I've got to go find my step drills, because that would be the fastest and the best way to cut that copper, cut a hole into it. So I am going to set this for about 30 minutes and let it clean. And you can see little bubbles starting. And I did open up these here, so eventually I'm going to take the 2 end caps off where the floats are at, and I'll let it clean. Right now I want to get the outside clean, but then I'll work to the inside. Look at me, and I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see what you're looking at. Yeah, let me zoom in a little bit. The nice part about an ultrasonic is it's doing scrubbing with air bubbles and sound waves. So you can probably see how much darker it's getting already? That's the dirt just coming off the outside. And it's cloudy all the way around it. It's like it's doing a great job cleaning. So once this is clean, it needs to come apart. Probably should put something there to hold that up. Let me do that. But take it apart and see if it's worth rebuilding. But no sense starting out with a dirty carburetor thinking you're going to get something done. I'll come up with something better than that. Good idea. That's better. All right. I'm going to pause the camera right now. I'm probably going to have to dump this thing a couple times. I can see that by just how dirty it's getting. But I'll keep you updated. Let me go see if I can find my step drills. Okay, you can see it's been about, let's set the timer. It's been about 15 minutes. And pretty nasty. It's cleaning up pretty good. I think I'm going to dump the water out and put new hot water in it and try it again. Let me drain it, and we'll have a look at the carburetor before I turn it back on so you can see what it looks like after 15 minutes. So I'm going to stop it here. I'm going to go get something to drain this into, and then we'll come back and refill it and see how well we're doing. All right, I got the water drained out, and this thing's working great. Look how much nicer this all looks. I mean, it's already clean. That's been 15 minutes. There's still quite a bit of dirt down in here. But what I want you to really notice is, if you can see the little black dots all over the bottom, that's the dirt that came off, and the sound waves are coming off the transducers in the bottom of this, and that's where the dirt is laying. That's one of the reasons I wanted to drain it, because I don't want that dirt laying on the bottom of the stainless steel, and because it'll scrub it. It'll mark it. So I'm going to pour some water through this, and I'm going to drain it out, get it all cleaned again, and then I'm going to refill it and hit her again. See what it looks like when I'm done. Alright, I noticed my battery went dead. I emptied it out, cleaned it. I did take the carburetor out to the hose and rinse it off, get all the loose dirt off of it I could. And I've now refilled it, and in fact, it's dripping on the floor here because I got it so high over here. But I got to put my screwdriver back in there. It's cleaning up really good. Now temperature, I got it set at 130 degrees. That should not hurt this. I mean, the car engine runs about hotter than that, about 180 to 200 degrees. So this shouldn't hurt that. The gaskets may soak up some water, the O-rings, but if you're going to rebuild it, that's what I'm trying to see if it's going to be worth it. Eventually I'll pop the end caps off, like I said, and we'll look at the floats and all the inside. I may have ultrasonic them too, but yeah, I did find it. I did find my step drill, and I've already marked it at the 3/8 mark. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I marked 3/8, and I'm going to punch that and put it in the drill press, and and then that step drill will go a little bit at a time. You can see it's tapered, and when I get to that black mark, that's where I want to quit. So I'm going to drill one there, and then I'll drill one in one of these end caps. That's a step drill. I knew where the bigger one was, but I wasn't sure where the really small one was because I don't use it very often. That's what that is. So I'm going to let this go. I'm going to run over here to the drill press. I can't get the camera over there because there's just not very much room. But I'll come back, and once I get that done, then I got to go make my parts that'll fit the holes. So I'll be back. I got my holes drilled using this step drill. Step drill went in to there, in my mark that I had. And what I want to show you is, this is a 3/8 drill. And I took it down to the 3/8 mark, and this fits perfect. So if you've never used a step drill, some call them Christmas tree drills. What it does is it pilots your hole, keeps going down bigger size until you get to where you want. And then you stop at 3/8. That stopped at 3/8. They're really nice. And like I said, I got my holes drilled. This is going to come around like that. And now I got to go make the parts. I got to deburr this. I got burrs around the inside. It just doesn't really need it, but I'll clean it up for soldering. So there we go. If you haven't used a step drill, like I said, you can go this way and have it ripping it apart, or you go this way and it makes a nice clean hole. All right, this is ultrasonic. Let me aim down at the tank. It's still running. And probably another 15 minutes. The temperature hasn't got all the way up yet, but the carburetor is really clean. I mean, compared to what it was, it's come a long way. The throats are even clean. There's some discoloration in it, which, I mean, I could go in there with some carb cleaner and a brush probably and clean it up. But the main thing is the carburetor itself is looking really good. So I'll probably take it apart, take the bowls apart. I may put the bowls back in, the bowls and the floats back in the ultrasonic after I change it again. But I'm going to let it go for a little bit longer. I got to put my screwdriver back in too. One thing about ultrasonics, with the amount of density that's around it, those internal holes, it's harder for them to do it. So that's why I'm going to leave it in there longer. Try to get it cleaned up. The outside, as far as I'm concerned, the outside is perfect for rebuild. So there it is. All right, the next thing I'll be doing is going and making me some fittings to go in the holes I just drilled. So I'll be back. All right, I just shut the ultrasonic off and lifted the basket out so that you could take a look at it before I go take it out. I'm going to take it out and rinse it off with the hose. I checked the temperature of it, and it's like 135 degrees. But it really cleaned up nice. I don't know how much you can see, but it's a lot better than it was. I'm going to rinse it off real good, get all the soap out of it. I'm going to take the bowl covers off, and I may put those in the ultrasonic. Depends how bad they look. If they're not too bad, I'll just clean everything up and put it back together. I think we're going to take this to Texas with us. My son's got a older Chevy pickup, and it really needs a carburetor. Might have to find a manifold for it, but we think this will work. So there it is. Cleaned up pretty good in ultrasonic. That's a lot better than sticking your hands in gasoline. My parts, but I'll be back with them. Okay, I've taken the bowls off now. Everything moves. I don't see any varnish in there. There's a little bit of residue from cleaning. Same thing over here. Everything moves. There is, so down here we have this style gasket in here. The newer material is blue like this. It's a little bit more forgiving for taking on and off. You can reuse it quite often. So I'll probably get the new gaskets like that. You can see there, everything here looks nice and clean. Not bad down here. I think this is a rebuildable carburetor. So I'm going to probably order a gasket set or rebuild kit for it. And if we can use this carburetor, we've got to figure that out first before I put money into it. But I've got a carburetor here that's usable now. I didn't know I had it. All this stuff will go back on. So while I was doing that, or letting that clean, I'm going to get this out of the way. And we're going to go to this other project that I'm working on. This right here. So this piece here, the base of this, was a pan. And I cut this part off, so you can see that was a cooking pan. I cut that off and then notched it out. Notched all this out. That's what that tape's for, so I can have a straight line. And what I did after that, I'm in the process of building. I made this piece here, and I'm working on the boiler. If I can get the tape off my hand. So I'm working on this part here, and that'll sit in here. Try to get close enough where I can see it. And I punched a hole in here, and I made these pieces. So this is going to go on the end down here, and then there's another cap on this end. And then I have this piece, and it's got a hole. I drilled a hole in through here, and a small hole there. That'll sit on here, and there'll be a piece of tubing that goes from here down to here and pick this up. Now, I also made this one here, goes on here. That'll be threaded for, it's actually an M6.1 thread, metric thread that I have to get. And then this piece here, this is going to be the filler. It'll go in this hole on the end down here. And if I can find a bigger screw, I'm going to use a bigger screw. But this screw here will be threaded into here. You'll take that out and you'll be able to put water in there. This is a quarter 20. If I can get a 5/16, it'd be a little bit better. But I haven't been able to find a brass screw that size. And I'll find that. I'll keep looking. But anyways, that's where I'm at. I'm in the process now. I was hoping to get it done before I had to end this video. And I got to make a valve, because in order for this to build pressure, you put water in it, put your fire underneath. I got to cut this out over here. that tube here, as it's building pressure, that it's going to leak off. It'll never build pressure. So I need a valve right here. And I don't know what was here before. All of this, I don't know what was here before. Tell you the truth. But that's what I got to do now. So I'm thinking about making a kind of like a ball valve right here. It'll be a miniature that I'll have to make on the lathe and the milling machine. But that's what I was going to work on next. I don't have time to finish it up before this video needs to be posted. So I just wanted to let you know where I'm at on this. I plan on silver soldering all these in and then make that valve, and then the tubing will come down in here and go in here. You'll be able to shut this valve off right here. So this will be like a pivot. So you'll be able to pivot your arm just like a ball valve. It'll be like that off, and then turn it this way on or this way on. Either way, whatever way you put the handle. And that'll allow you to close it, allow this to build pressure. This will have a pressure relief valve that's rated for 15 psi. I got that coming. And once you get some pressure, you turn this off or to the open position and start this thing moving. And that piston will go back and forth, and this will be running. And then you could put something on there if you wanted to. Anyways, that's what I'm working on next. So I'm going to end this video for this week because I don't have enough time to complete this in time for the video to be posted. And you'll be seeing that next time. Hopefully I'll have the valve installed and all the soldering done. I may do a video on the soldering. It's depends on whether I can get a good shot of it. And that's where I'm at. I know this is quite a difference between the carburetor. My thing about the carburetor was I've never used an ultrasonic to clean a big carburetor like that. And I thought I'm going to give it a try because I found that carburetor on the shelf. And so it looks like it cleaned up very good, and it looks like it's really wouldn't take much to rebuild this thing, put it back in service. Just got to find something to use it on. I think my son's got that. And then this other one is this is a long-term project. You can see it takes a lot of planning and finding, and there's no designs for any of this that I have to think about it and build my own thoughts and plans, and that's where I'm at. And then I also got the Maytag connecting rod, brand new connecting rod, from Flywheel Supply. That really looks nice. I can't wait to get that engine over here and start working on it. So that's what I have for this week. Once again, if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. Thank you for watching and putting up with an old guy here. And if you like what you see, let other people know about it, and I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good day.